Thanks for joining our March 2026 Zeek Community Call. These calls are hosted by members of the Zeek Leadership Team. They're open to anyone in the community to join. We definitely invite everyone who's interested to hop on and tune in. We typically share project and training updates, some community reminders. The rest is pretty flexible. So again, if you are, joining live or watching the recording on YouTube later, feel free to share any questions or thoughts or feedback. And if there's something that you would like to see covered at a future meeting, we invite you to share those thoughts as well. So with that, I think we will pass it over to Johanna to kick it off with some updates on the leadership side of things.
Sure. So the Zeek Leadership Team met once since the last community call, and we talked about the upcoming Zeek workshop at CERN. I hope I'm not going to take away too much from Michelle here talking about it, but the short version, what we talked about is that it's now full. There's mostly full, so in essence, we are on the point where we have a wait list. And we have a nice agenda and are just finalizing some logistics. We started talking about the potentials of having future workshops, but I'm not going to talk much about that to not take everything away. And one of the big points that took the most discussions is that we started talking about a contribution policy or an AI policy for the project. Specifically, there have been some instances where we have gotten low quality submissions that were quite obviously made by AI, where the people were not really involved, were not really able to talk about that, which is not great for us because it binds resources, and we want to have like a policy to point to what our stance on this is, which the idea is to, in essence, for it to be quite positive and open about that, but just to point out that if there are submission, if you submit a pull request or something to us, you have to be understand exactly what's going on in it and be able to talk about it. At least that's the current state, and we are going to continue talking about that before we publish something. And that's kind of what the Zeek LT has done since the last time. And if you have any questions about that, let me know.
Wonderful. Thanks, Johanna. Christian, what is happening on the technical side of things?
Hey, thank you. What is happening? Okay, I have a modest update today. Basically, what's happening is 8.2 development, which is essentially trackable for you guys on a board that we have where we've been a little bit slow to populate, but where we've had a bunch of internal discussion about like what to work on. And it's basically for this one, essentially continuation of like, uh, um, iterations of getting off of broker. Again, this is a reminder for folks to please test our latest version with 0MQ, the default now. We're still looking for feedback. There is a bunch of stuff to learn. We're looking especially for feedback about if and when the wheels fall off, because we have a lot of indication that performance is really quite a lot better in that environment. So we encourage you to test that out and let us know. Other than that, 8.2 is basically sort of the last sort of checkpoint on the road to 9, which I'll be talking more about at the workshop, but that sort of like hopefully frames the work we're doing right now a little bit. And I have two specific things that I wanted to flag for you guys as well. One is our most recent blog post that's up right now that Arne put together, basically about how to monitor traffic in AWS, because it's I think, technically really cute solution that we're offering there, which is basically leveraging Zeek's ability to have pluggable components and including pluggable packet sources. And the way this is working, as you will see in that blog post, is basically by turning Zeek into a UDP server. So you no longer have to sort of come up with a clunky solution for getting your hands on that traffic that somehow ends up on an interface that you're monitoring, but you actually have the tapped traffic come to you directly if it's, Geneve, if it's VXLAN. And the blog post then goes into more detail about how to log into Kafka and so forth. So basically how to do, modern monitoring in a cloud environment with some cute technical riffs. And the other thing I wanted to flag is that there are some fun discussions up right now. So for context, we sort of frame bigger technical topics as a discussion, as in the technical sense of GitHub, to start off. So you can go in there. It's at GitHub/Zeek. You can or /Zeek, and you go to discussions and you see them. And there are a couple up right now that are looking for input. One of the ones that has been driving us a little crazy internally is about this incredibly technical topic of how to embed binary content in JSON, which is sort of a connoisseur topic. But those of you who ingest JSON data a lot will have probably hit this and might have some takes on that. And if you do, please come in there and let us know, because we have some ideas of how to implement this going forward for 8.2. But your input would be much appreciated. And I think that's all I have right now. Thank you. Back to you, Michelle.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian. All right, next we have training updates. Typically we have just Fatima who gives us the updates here, but we have some new faces joining us. We've got Taylor and David on the call from Scenic, so welcome you two. Fatima, I'm going to pass the mic to you for to kick it off.
Thanks, Michelle. So yes, we have another Zeek training workshop that is coming up, and it will be hosted by Trusted CI Regional Cybersecurity Summit and at the University of Alabama. So it will be in Tuscaloosa, Alabama this time, and on April 21st. It's going to be special for two reasons. First, because this is the first time Trusted CI is doing a regional summit. That's an idea that they were brainstorming last year in their annual summit, that would it make sense for the community to have a regional and a shorter version of the longer training that they give in the last half of the year. The shorter version will be in the first half of the year, and then the annual will be again during the October-September timeframe that they usually have. So this is the pilot program. They are testing it for the first time. So that's special. And then the second reason special is this will be a shorter version of the long one-day training that we do in the annual summit. And not only it will be different this time, but also we have new presenters who will be presenting that training material. And I'll give the mic to Taylor and David to talk more about what's new and upcoming in the training section that they're going to present at Regional Summit. But quick reminder, registration is free and it's still open. I'm yet not sure whether it will be recorded, because since it's a smaller version of training, usually we don't record the longer versions because it's like all day long. But if we can record that training, then that would be great. So I'm still in touch with the organizers to see if we can record it. But if not, then again, it will be a really good pilot program to test out the smaller versions of the Zeek training and what people think about it. And any feedback will be more than welcome. So yeah, with that, I think I'm going to hand it over to David or Taylor for giving a quick update of what will be covered during that training.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not just like a week. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Schutt, and I am a cybersecurity administrator with Scenic. My colleague, David Hahn, and I are going to be co-presenting the Zeek-Lite training that Fatima mentioned at the upcoming Trusted CI Cybersecurity Summit. This training material was created as a resource for users that have never used the Zeek application before, and it is going to consist of a high-level overview of the application, how it functions, and it's also going to provide users with the ability to test out an isolated instance of Zeek via the Docker desktop application. The presentation is also going to include a few log processing exercises and is going to provide the audience with the opportunity to get some hands-on practice using Zeek in order to filter and parse data accordingly from sample Zeek log files. We're definitely looking forward to the presentation and hope that the training will be able to serve as a valuable resource for individuals that would like to learn more about Zeek and how it functions at a foundational level.
Yeah, and if time allots to, it's also for us to try to learn what kind of problems people have in their environment, right? So we can help develop solutions, because we can't think of everything, and what people expect from Zeek, how we're using Zeek as well as use cases, and hopefully people can learn from each other in that session.
Cool. Thank you, guys. And please do let us know if you guys have any feedback, comment, questions on how we can improve on training. That would be awesome. And with that, back to you, Michelle.
Great. Thanks so much, guys. We're really excited to have you on board for this. So I'll be definitely keeping an eye and an ear out for late April to hear how it goes. Okay, on the community side of things, not a whole lot of updates to share. As Johanna mentioned, our CERN workshop later this month is full. Currently kind of ping-ponging people on and off the wait list. Really excited for that. If you are going to be joining us in Geneva, we're really excited for the event and really excited to meet everyone and spend some time together. I think it'll be really great. And again, we are currently exploring options for another workshop for the fall. I think it's been a minute since we've done a Zeek event in North America, so we're kind of looking at what potential options are there. So stay tuned for more information on that. And some of the team has begun kind of thinking about what other conferences that we want to speak at and attend. So I'll be chasing CFP deadlines and letting kind of the team know what's coming up. And if we get any talks or additional workshops or trainings at other conferences, I'll definitely be letting everyone know because that would be super cool to have that opportunity to meet people as well. Last thing I'll mention from the topic of the month side of things. So last month, the conversation was all about scripts and customization. I just posted the recap from that conversation on our blog. We've got a post called "What Should You Actually Customize in Zeek?" It's a quick read. I think it was a really fun conversation just seeing the different roads that people take to have Zeek work the way that they want it to. And I do just want to take a minute to thank everybody who contributed to the conversation. It really means a lot to kind of see everyone sharing from a quick comment to a long list of what they've got going on. So I do just want to give a quick shout out to David, Sebastian, Yassine, Dot, Mark, Seth, Ashish, Chris, Pedro, James, Carlos, Jacob, Rostislav, Van, Arna, Aaron, and Jan. A lot of people contributing last month, so super cool to see. And then we launched our next topic for March. We're going to be talking about anything that's ever surprised you about Zeek. The official title is "I Didn't Know Zeek Could Do That." So anytime you've kind of discovered a new way of using Zeek or a feature, we definitely just want to hear any of those moments, stories, or discoveries. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation as well. Well, that is a wrap for this community call. Next one will be April 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific, same time, same Zoom link. So really looking forward to seeing everyone then.